Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Xbox Ultimate Podcast, episode 224. It's 224 episodes of this show, and happy to see everybody here. Thank you all for joining, and we're going to have some fun today because it's never too early to have a little bit of fun speculation. Since we got the showcase announced, is happening, I believe it's June 8th, if I'm not mistaken, for the Xbox showcase. Keely's out there promoting his Summer Game Fest and all that kind of stuff. We're getting closer to the season where all these things are going to be happening, and there's not a lot of news, right? I mean, we got all the Nintendo stuff going on with their egregious prices for games, and that's kind of the talk of the town. We have PlayStation about to have a marathon event on tomorrow. It's going to give us some glimpses at that, which will be a game that's going to go everywhere. So we'll be looking forward to seeing exactly what they got to show for Marathon. But other than that, it's just been kind of quiet. We got a lot of games to play. We got a lot of things going on, but we got a show to do. So let's have some fun speculating on the future, which is one of our favorite things. And we are joined tonight again from the man who might actually have all the answers with all of the technology he has at his disposal. In his secret base, the one and only lore master, Jasper. What's up, Jasper?
Yeah, it's going pretty good. It's finally warming up here in space today. It's a calm 80 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's really hot. Other than that,
nice.
I jumped into South of Midnight. I'm enjoying the story aspect of it more and stuff, but the gameplay to me is just so like kind of basic and boring. So it's the story is really carrying that game for me, and like the animation style and stuff like that. Other than that, it's all right game. So yeah, it's kind of what I've been up to.
Cool. Right on, man. And we got Fuzzy Belvedere. What's up, Fuzz?
Guys, can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
We can. Good.
Yeah, just glad to be here with you guys. Also playing a little bit of South of Midnight, up to chapter 12, so nearly finished.
Take a little bit of South of Midnight. I'm almost done with it, everybody.
Yeah.
Nice job, Fuzz.
How many hours to completion on that? Is it like 12? Something like that?
I think I'm at like around 12 hours, give or take. So it might be a little bit longer for me.
Yeah.
I know some people have finished it in like 7 or 8, and then others have taken 20. So I guess it depends on if you're doing the side stuff or looking for like the floofs and things like that.
Mhm.
So
Right on. How many chapters are there?
I think there's just 14.
14. Okay. So you'll probably be around like 15 hours to completion, maybe something like that. Cool, man.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah,
to see.
I think I may have missed some of the earlier floofs, but yeah, having fun with it. Some heavy story stuff, but yeah, that's the part I enjoy. Other than that, Forza Horizon 5. I haven't played GT7 in a bit because they still refuse to do double file rolling starts, but that's a whole nother complaint. But outside of that, just having fun. Reviewing bad movies. I guess I don't know if you guys saw for Trolls 2. Not my pick, but I think I could have.
DreamWorks Trolls, right?
No, definitely not DreamWorks.
That was fire. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, Trolls, Troll 2, movie from the 90s. I think I'd rather have a root canal than watch that again, but that's nor here nor there. But other than that, just glad to be here with you guys to talk about, upcoming showcase, which, man, this year's already stacked. I guess they're going to finish it out strong as well and start all over next year with a whole flood of stuff. So,
yeah. Well, hey, Fuzz, you said earlier this year, like you made the decision that this year was not going to necessarily be the year you go to FanFest, right? Because you're going to other stuff. Worked out in your favor, man.
Yeah.
Worked out in your favor. Good decision early on.
The plane crash and stuff kind of scared me, and considering how I have bad experiences with planes, I've basically been on several that have tried to land on other planes. So yeah, when they were actually doing that or bumping into each other, I was like, I could drive, but why would I spend like 4 days up and back trying to drive across the country? I'll just do it next year. But yeah, worked out.
Yeah, right on.
Fuzzy, what's your opinion on while we're talking about your horror side of things? What's your view on the campy 80s stuff, like Puppet Master, like Full Moon, like Full Moon?
Mhm.
I loved their movies, like Puppet Master. I love their old stuff. I like movies like Phantasm. What's your feeling on that stuff? Do you go back and watch it now, and then is it as a horror fan? Because again, I would not call myself a horror fan. I can't watch a lot of horror, but I like the old stuff. Do you consider that just it doesn't hold up well and it's too awful, or can you watch it and still enjoy it?
You can watch it and still enjoy it. It's already got like a special light from a memory standpoint.
Yeah.
So they're a lot more acceptable. Now there are some that I've missed, and Troll 2 was one that I missed, and there was probably a reason,
Yeah.
and we decided to review it. But like the Puppet Master stuff, like a lot of those, yeah, it's campy, yeah, it's like B movie level or lower kind of thing, but they're trying to be funny. It's not like they're
Right.
trying to be serious, and then oops, it wound up stumbling into a cult classic kind of thing. But yeah, a lot of them had their moments where you can go and watch them again. If you were watching them as a kid and were scared or had some jump scares, it's like,
Yeah.
well, they don't affect you
Now
as
they-
much nowadays,
Yeah,
but it winds up being more funny or more of like a nostalgia memory trip type of thing each time
Yeah.
you watch those. So.
Yeah, I just got a soft spot for some of that old stuff. Like again, like there was just certain ones, and then I worked with a dude way back in the day who was a horror buff, and he was a huge Full Moon guy. He liked all the old 80s campy stuff, so he even got me to watch some of the stuff that I hadn't watched. So I was just curious about what your take on it was. But for me, obviously, nostalgia always earns bonus points, and I can go back and watch old stuff and think it's still kick ass to this day. So I was just curious. I was just curious where you're at with that.
It's funny when you watch some of these movies you remember from the 80s and stuff, and like you watch them today and you don't like you see the clear like fake faces during death scenes or like when there's stuff smash and it's like everything just looks like, wow, that is a puppet's head just being not a person, you know what I mean? But like when you're back then it was like, oh wow, it's crazy.
Yeah,
you know?
and I still miss it compared to CGI. I don't like CGI as much as I did like the old animatronics and the old puppets and the old way they used to do things. I mean, sometimes it's really good and sometimes it's dope as hell. Obviously, there's stuff they can do, but man, I go back and watch this stuff and it doesn't bother me. Sure, you notice it now, like you said, Mav, it stands out. But
like the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark when they're all the faces are melting.
Yeah,
you know
melting.
What I mean?
Yeah,
It's like,
like fucking cake or whatever.
But it looks like frosting just melting.
But that was top notch back in the day. Right?
Exactly.
That was
like
crazy to
the
have
first
that happen.
Terminator movie too, man. Like,
Yeah,
you watch that and you see like these scenes with his face, and it's like, like in the mirror and stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's
I remember
great.
the whole behind the scenes where they showed how they built that and stuff because it was cutting edge shit back in the day. Special effects, it was dope.
Yeah, but we're also like at home. We were watching that stuff on like these little 480, picture tube TVs and stuff. So we watched Untouchables the other night.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Great
and I was actually like, because that was in the 80s too, right? That was like 87, I think, and that one like had some gore. Man, I forgot like the scene where the guy falls from the building and then lands on the car, and then they show kind of an up close of the after. I was like, wow, looks really good for the 80s. Like that would hold up today, like the way that they made that look,
Yep.
So there's definitely different levels to it, for sure. But yeah, hey, Pong, what's up? How's it going, man?
Hey, happy Friday, everybody. Or if you are already into the weekend because you're across the ocean somewhere, happy weekend. Great to be here, guys. Great to see Jasper, of course, join us anytime he can. It's been a minute, and every time we get him on, well, I mean, he came on, but he had to leave last time. You got to go somewhere and drop somebody off?
No,
Jasper?
I'm good.
Oh, you're good tonight. Okay, good. No, always good to have Jasper here, and of course, to see you, Mav, again after Thursday night, and of course to see Fuzzy, because Fuzzy and I aren't doing the Shop podcast while we're on hiatus, so great to see Fuzz and to hear his voice too. Chat, hope you're all doing well. For me, I said it last night, a lot of age, A lot of Age. I am absolutely loving the Templars and Age 4. Oh my god, it's so good. The Age 2 patch just dropped. I got to check that out. I just got it downloaded. I had to make room for it because it's such a big patch. It's the biggest patch they've ever given. Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. So I can't wait to jump in that as well. So it's been a lot of Age, but obviously the ongoing theme here is South of Midnight. And I said last night that I jumped into it for a bit. I did jump into it more. I got home in time tonight to before the show to actually get some gaming in. So I actually did jump back into South of Midnight. I'm into chapter 3. Just met the catfish. No spoiler. I think everybody's seen the catfish. But yeah, I'm in chapter 3. I said it all last night. I was not prepared for, again, gameplay wise, yes, like Jasper said to me, it's whatever. And again, I'm not a platformer dude. The platform is already starting to get a little bit annoying to me. It is stupid because it's easy shit, but it's still getting annoying to me. So that's not what I'm here for. And that's, why I'll probably eventually, I won't finish this game, even if it is short. I'll probably wind up dropping it. But I was not prepared, as I said last night, even watching the videos and stuff. And I said, boy, damn, this looks really good. And all the trailers, and then people posting screenshots, and videos and stuff. Even doing that doesn't do it justice from what I'm seeing on the big screen. Like, this quality of animation is up there. Like we were talking about last night, Mav, when you get into, Coraline or Nightmare Before Christmas.
And the storytelling complements it. It's
correct.
Like, it's
that's
seamless,
It is. It's all really magical to me. Like it really is. It is I think I made my post and I said it just my first impressions were just wonderful and beautiful. That's what this is. The atmosphere of this game, the graphics wise, the lighting, and the effects that they've got going on, extremely impressed. I was expecting good things from Compulsion. I've been a big Compulsion cheerleader for a long time. Again, when I found out what the type of the game this was going to be, I was like, oh, I wish they would have done something else because I really like Compulsion, but this is not going to be the game for me. But at the same time, I was rooting for them. And again, it's just beyond what I thought and what I had first seen. Seeing it and feeling it for myself on my big screen, hearing it, again, the atmosphere, the ambiance that they have in the background, the natural nature sounds that they have in the background, fitting of the swamp. I can't believe how many different bird calls they have. If anybody knows bird calls, like the amount of bird calls is ridiculous. The amount of frog calls is ridiculous too. Like I was hearing a whole different types of frogs. Like they went to great lengths to grab that swamp feeling. And then, as Mav said, and as we talked about last night, the acting and everything else being so on point, the storytelling, the way that they're presenting the story. I'm not saying it's something like we've never seen before, but it's just so well done and so stitched into what they've created as far as the world goes. It feels like we're watching some type of high-end animated movie. And again, not everybody's pulled that off. It's not like something that every studio does. And then the final addition to all of that is the music has absolutely blown me away. I knew it was going to be obviously very stylistic. They leaned into it on the trailers. We heard a lot of people that had played it early on talking about the music and how it played in, and it does play in to the action on the screen as well. There are moments where you pick up on it that it's actually cued or tuned to what you're doing on the screen, and it changes obviously depending on what, if you're going into a bad area or you've cleared that bad area, the music changes, all that kind of stuff, the normal stuff that we get. But the style of music, the different styles of music, influenced greatly by the Deep South, obviously, has totally just caught my ear. And I am just standing at moments listening to the sounds of nature, but also with this music that, again, is stitched seamlessly into everything else going on. Compulsion did what I thought they could do, that they were a talented studio. They grew underneath Xbox. It took them quite a long time to get this game out, but they grew underneath Xbox, and their talent, for all the people who doubted or questioned why Phil kept talking about Compulsion or why they would even go buy Compulsion after We Happy Few, this is why. And I'll repeat it again from last night as well. this is what we thought and talked about consistently on all of our shows when we were in acquisition season, and we were talking about what good it would be, because there were so many people talking about, oh, it's bad for Microsoft to own these studios, bad for Xbox to own all these studios. This is going to be a nightmare scenario. These devs aren't going to, be able to complete the stuff that they want to complete, or they're going to all get fired and closed down. And we've seen things like Arcane happen, obviously, and other studios happen. But this is what we talked about, was the potential. You have a studio like Compulsion come underneath the umbrella, allowed to grow, given money, resources, time to grow out the studio, come up with an original vision, and a vision that not every publisher would be willing to do these days. And Xbox didn't stand in their way. Phil didn't stand in their way. Nobody stood in their way. They encouraged them and said, do what you want to do. How can we help you? And you wind up with a game that's not going to be for everybody, but again, adds to the diversity of lineup within this ecosystem, within Game Pass, underneath the Xbox umbrella. And I'm assuming this will go to PlayStation, obviously, eventually too. I would not doubt to see this on the Switch 2, as well as it's going to be a perfect game for the Switch 2. That this game is something that we don't get from a whole lot of places. And they're telling a story using mythology from the Deep South, which has not been explored a lot in gaming. A lot of mythologies have been. And I think it's just really super interesting. And just the overall quality that they put into this game is beyond even what I thought. And I'm happy for Compulsion, and congrats to Compulsion, and congrats to Xbox for supporting this type of project at the end of the day, even if it's not the biggest seller or the biggest mindshare grabber or whatever you want to say. And there's a lot of conversations around this game, of course, as there always is nowadays.
I mean,
but even if it's not any of that,
neither is a game like Astrobot.
Correct. And neither is Astrobot,
what I
but
mean?
it won a lot of the, and it does it. Yes, you're right. You're right, Mav. It just adds to the flavor of the entire ecosystem, right? And this game, it's good this game exists. And if you have any inkling or any interest in this game whatsoever, even if the platforming doesn't appeal to you like me, or the combat doesn't appeal to you because it seems pretty basic, all that kind of stuff, go download the game and try it just from the story aspect and the acting stack and all the stuff that I just talked. Go download it and try it. I think it's you need to give your senses the experience of this game. It is like something really cool that they came out with here that you don't get all the time. I'll leave it at that. I've talked enough. I'm just really impressed by South of Midnight, even if it's a game that I'm not going to wind up finishing or playing or continuing to play. It's just really impressive. And that's not chilling. That's just straight up. Like, again, if it's none of that. It is just, wow. As a gamer, as somebody who's experienced a lot of worlds, and this is why I graze the way I do, jumping into this world, I was just blown away by a lot of it. It's really, really cool. So anyways.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. Like, I had zero interest in the game, and then like I was just like, I'll give it a shot because it's in Game Pass or whatever. And I knew I wasn't gonna like the gameplay just from early on trailers.
Exactly.
But like, if the story can get its hooks in deep enough to me, like I can see myself finishing this game. And I had zero interest in it to begin with. So
there you go.
Right on. That's what it's all about, right? Shout out to Free Bear, who hit us with 5 gifted Fun Speculation memberships. Choo motherfuckers. Thank you, Free Bear, and appreciate the support, man. So yeah, South of Midnight, like to that point, like a lot of people try and trash on games that aren't like the most popular or whatever, right? But then they will pick and choose other games to celebrate because of critical acclaim or because of the prestige that it adds to the brand or whatever. And that's kind of been our thing all along, like with Game Pass, the variety that they have been making of different kinds of games, even a game like Pentiment, or there was another game that was a Game Pass day and date game, that Microsoft partnership game, As Dusk Falls, that I hadn't looked forward to playing. I was kind of standoffish about the style of it and stuff, and then actually when I had played it, I was like, wow, holy shit, like I'm super glad I got to play that. Won awards that year. Hellblade 2 was a kind of a showpiece kind of game as well. And a lot of times, like, these things get caught up in console wars stuff because they're first party games, and they're like, oh, what is this going to do for Xbox? It's not going to move the needle. It's not going to move the needle. And it's like, this is fucking needle that exists in some kind of imaginary world that needs to be constantly moved by things, and those conversations don't happen on the other side with PlayStation games a lot, or Nintendo. You can have like a first party or smaller experience come out and it can be celebrated. Wow, this is for these kind of gamers, and this is going to be a special, unique experience, that's going to be celebrated. Or, man, this is original, let's celebrate it. And then sometimes the hype and the prestige that these games get allow for more hype for a sequel, and then those sequels come out, and then they end up selling more and creating another good franchise for these companies and stuff. So yeah, I think it's great to see Microsoft, Xbox have been allowing these kind of games to be made as well, without worrying about, is it going to sell 20 million copies, right? I think they're selling it for $39.99 too, I think, full price, right? Which for this game, that's like an extremely fair price. I mean, I could see definitely
variable pricing.
Yeah,
Variable
pricing.
I mean,
Yeah.
Hellblade 2 started it, right? Hellblade 2 was the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So they
was that
variable
$49.99 or
$49.99. Yep.
I mean, shit. But like, you could look at the production value and what those games offer comparatively to like a Nintendo game or something, and be like, wow.
Oh man, don't do it.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying like
Some
South
of-
of Midnight
some
is
of the
Mario.
best
Yeah,
the
but
best visuals and audio out of Hellblade, like out of any game, maybe, and then it's only
right.
$50.
Yeah, and it took them like what 6-7 years to make or something, probably, a Hellblade 2. I'm just, that's the whole pricing thing and all that kind of stuff. But overall, man, I'm glad that a lot of people are going to play South of Midnight because it's in Game Pass. Like, I don't know if I would have bought it day one. Jasper wouldn't have. Pong, I don't know if you would have either. But we're all three people that hey, we're super glad we're playing this game. So Fuzzy was, I think, one that was the most excited to play this game right away. I think you would have probably been a day and dater regardless, even if it wasn't in Game Pass, because you've been talking about South of Midnight for a long time. So did it live up to your expectations, Fuzz?
As far as like the cryptid stories, basically these like folklore type things, so far so good. The combat I'm enjoying. I suck at it sometimes because I wind up getting caught up with like either the brutes or I guess the other one's called the slug or something like that, where it spits out a constant wall of stuff type of deal. But I'm having fun with it. Using Crouton has been fun as well, and just like I know I'm a grown ass man, but I want like a plushie of Crouton just to have it type of thing. So, but overall, the look of the game, the pacing for the storytelling and stuff like that, it pulls at the heartstrings a bit. And I know I'm nearing the end, but there's some stories there that you can either see some sort of relation in, or see how humanity can be cruel in certain ways for certain things. But it's the same way that kind of like Psychonauts 2 gripped me, where I really hadn't played Psychonauts the original, and Psychonauts 2 didn't really look like my typical type of game, but I figured, let me give it a try, and the story draws you in, and it's the same deal with this. But having the cryptids in it, fighting Haints, just the like Pong was saying, the sound. Like, I think the biggest thing is I'm not even having to use like headphones, and I'm hearing the spatial audio of like the crickets and the frogs and the bird calls, and you can hear the water as like the rivers are rolling by type of thing. Like, everything feels like they spent a lot of times in the swamp or in the woods and in areas where, if you've ever been in the South in the summertime and you hear those sounds, you recognize that in this game. And they did an awesome job on that. The song, some of the lyrics are a little weird on some of them, but it fits some of the stuff that you're having to go through. And the fact that as you progress, you're getting more of the story in the song, and some of the like little papers that you find, or postings on some of the eviction homes and things like that. Like, there's just so much to take in with this game, and I I would say it lived up to my expectation and then some. The music and the story kind of exceeds it to a bit, but I'm afraid how it's going to end because there's something in the beginning I noticed, and it's like I don't know how to explain it, but any of those that have heard of like the wives' tale of being born with a veil, you might know what I mean by it if you've played the game. So yeah, I'm enjoying it, but I'm waiting for the heartstring really to get tugged at the end. But we'll see.
I hear you, man. Well, it's that south of midnight. I think we've got some, there's some definitely things that could be better, but overall, like, fantastic experience. Well, guys, Xbox Fuzzy wasn't going anyway. I was thinking maybe this could be a year I could actually go to the Xbox FanFest. Something that a lot of us wanted to do at some point, at least. Fuzzy's the only one that's been lucky enough out of us to be able to go. But do have a question. Do we think the fact that they're not having it this year means it's kind of the end of doing that? Or do we think it's just like a year off? I don't know. What do you think, Pong?
Oh man.
Like in-person fan event around their big showcase. Like was that the
So
end
hard
of
to
an era?
say, bro. I think it's the end of an era. If I had to guess, if something, never say never, and if something changes and like E3 develop, I know there's that new alternative E3 that's starting to try to come together, and Microsoft is supporting them. If something like that happens again, that it's a bigger to do with fans included, then obviously I do believe that Xbox will have fans
Maybe
or have
next
a
gen
fan
launch.
fest or
Potentially.
something like that potentially. I would say never. Although would it shock me at this point that it is an end of an era because of the way that they're going and the direction that they're going, and it's obviously no secret. No, it wouldn't shock me either if they just decided that they might have like a separate fan fest, like they might be doing this year, or they've been insinuated they're going to do this year, where it's just outside of the showcase, and maybe we just don't see the showcase fan fest anymore. But they do want to celebrate Xbox community still each year during the fall or whatever time they decide to do it at. That's a tough question though, man. It is a really tough question because I could see it going both ways. It is weird. It is strange to decide to do this one this way.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me, especially the success that they've had of the fan fest, like with people coming out and meeting, and like it's been a big kind of deal still, even if it wasn't the same as it used to be. They still had a really good reception from it, and a lot of people were still going out there. And I know it's not cheap for them to do it, but come on, it is Microsoft. Like it is that. They are that company. They don't have to do that. But they've just really had good success. So it is kind of surprising they decided not to.
Yeah. Do you think, Jasper? Do you think this is like? First off, why do you think they didn't do the event this year?
So I think that maybe this is just kind of a guess. I don't know. Maybe it's just because they've had a lot of bad reception the past year with like putting their games on other platforms, and people were thinking they're not making any more next gen consoles and stuff. So maybe they just didn't want to have all that kind of that negative attention. People just focusing on constantly asking, be like, why are you putting all the fucking exclusives on PlayStation? All that kind of shit going on at the event. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. So I do think this is an off year, maybe an off 2 years or so, just kind of get people used to the new way the game industry flows, and then they'll come back whenever they do have that next gen launch announcement. So I don't think we get that next gen launch announcement here. Maybe next year, maybe the year after that, or whenever it is. Just to come back big and like to show that we actually have something big and a big talking point to get people excited.
Yeah. See, I was thinking this show that they're gonna have this year will be that in and of itself, because like we look at the line. I will get into it in a little bit, but earlier this year on FSP we had done a like 2025 and 2026 possibilities, right? And with what it shaped out to what's actually releasing in 2025, 2026 is absolutely insane, which would mean big things for potentially this showcase as well, right? So But yeah, Fuzz, you think this is the end of these events at the showcase season? I'm not saying end of any fan events whatsoever. I'm just meaning like these were the bigger ones and are centered around the showcase itself, right? Do you think it'll come back next year, the year after, or is this them saying like, well, that was fun, but let's do something else?
I initially I think it was my thought was it may be just a one-off, only because even though we're talking about $1 trillion company, a parent company, and a big pillar of their finances with Xbox, I do think there was a discussion of, well, you're not going to be able to in your budget do two fan events, and I think the 10th anniversary they saw as the more important overall, even though this one is the tradition, been a tradition for some time. I think it was a matter of, well, if we got to pick one, let's do the 10-year and go big for that. I think next year everything goes back to normal, but that may also depend on other outside factors. Like I do think there was some question, kind of like what Jasper was saying. With, if I'm not mistaken, I think there was a mention that they would start showing logos at any unveiling for their games moving forward, whether it's an Xbox showcase or a dev direct kind of deal. I don't know how true that was, but I remember hearing some buzz, about that being something that they're going to do going forward. So while most of their diehard fans are the ones that wind up going to these events, I don't think there would be as much of the pushback, let's say, of, oh, it's PS5 logo, but I think they wanted to, avoid that potentially, as far as with it being a live event or in-person event with like a pre-recording or anything along those lines. So maybe this year they figure, well, let's see what the feedback is with the logos for the showcase with nobody there at the time, type of thing. See if the feedback is, grumbles, or if it's, pitchforks and stuff, and go from there. But I do think from a budget standpoint, it was probably like, yeah, $1 trillion company or not, we're only going to spend for one fan event, and a 10-year or 20-year deal is probably the better of the two to focus on.
So what you're saying is it's the tariffs.
I don't even think they even have any of that taken into account, because I don't know if they've moved production from big bad China to anywhere else just yet, and like tariffs now is like, we'll see, because where most of these companies work or produce stuff is China. So I don't know. And there are some small runs run in Japan for PlayStation. There are some small runs run in the US for Xbox, but most of those are those contest ones. Most of those are like one-offs or like work in the field, one-off type deals, or dev kits and things. So most of their production being out of China for pretty much all but Nintendo, which they moved to Vietnam because of the potential for China from last tariff war type of deal. We'll see, but I don't think the tariffs affected that per se. But one thing the tariffs did probably affect was their server farm thing, if I'm not mistaken. Like that kind of dried up quick, because they're like, well, that and the fact that AI is kind of hitting a brick wall to some extent. Your return on investment isn't quite what it was, let's say, a year or two ago. But I think they return to in-person showcase next year, provided that logos are not that big of a talking point for gaming media. And then whatever they go, I figure they go balls to the wall on the FanFest that they do this year, separate from the showcase, and then scale it back where, by the way, I went in 22. That has probably been the worst gift bag.
Yeah, well, that was the worst one to go to also.
Yeah, it was like
the infamous 12-month showcase, right?
Yeah, it was the 12-month thing, and I don't even think you got a controller. I don't remember getting a controller. I just remember the T-shirts, a bag, and snacks. And every other showcase or fan fest I've heard of, you get, at least get a controller, maybe a game or two. Yeah, that was like that one.
Was
They
it
kind of, it felt like they threw it
was it
together the night before.
was it a jersey or was it just like an actual T-shirt? Because I know
It
they've
was
given
a,
out
a
like jersey
jersey.
stuff. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean the jerseys, because I wound up buying 2 extras for the boys and stuff, but they're talking about an $80 at retail.
Yeah.
Their cost probably like 40. So it's like, okay, it's got our name on it, yay! And like seeing all the gift bags from previous ones where it was like, oh, you got a controller and a new game and some sort of other, accessory or something. It was like, yeah. Oh, I got a bag of peanuts and popcorn.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully next year, like, provided there aren't, numerous air incidents, yeah, I'll be up for going next year. I'll definitely be ready for that. But if there's more air incidents, then yeah, I'll figure out how I can drive and get over there in reasonable time and sleep and whatnot. So we'll see.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see, guys, like what I do y'all think? Okay, so we've already seen at the Dev Direct and stuff. Yeah, they're willing just to have the logos of all the companies after the trailers, right? Regardless. We saw the big Indiana Jones announcement at a Keighley show that, PlayStation, for Indiana Jones. And we, like, for me, I don't really care. It's interesting though, and I am curious about what the reaction overall will be. If at the Xbox showcase after like majority of the like first party trailers we do see Switch 2, PS5, or you know what I mean, like on those, and like will that be a big deal to the Xbox community? Will everybody freak out again? Will the games medias come out and be like, Xbox has
No
gone
first party
full
games at their
third
show.
party officially, or you know what I mean? What will they be running with the news if that is the direction of
Be like, we won.
yeah, like I'm curious about it.
It can at this point. Okay, anybody who does any of the above have had their head in the sand forever. Like again,
That's what I'm saying. It's like
yeah, but if any Xbox fan is getting pissed when they do come out, and again, it's going to be one after another, and they're gonna get pissed at this point. Again, you've had your head buried in the sand. You've just been ignorant because you choose to be ignorant, right? So I mean, again, that's where it's at in the media at this point. I mean, they already got one of the biggest ones in Forza Horizon. So, I mean, that's out of the way, right? So, like, I can't see the media celebrating this anymore outside of potentially the PlayStation sites. We saw, which one was it this week that did put up a whole article that PlayStation fans should go watch the Xbox showcase to see the future PlayStation games? Like,
I've seen some, I've seen some people putting out like Xbox parentheses PS5 showcase announced for June. You know what I mean?
Right.
People are
right.
that,
So there'll be some PlayStation sites that still do that kind of stuff, but I just think at this point, anybody who is either getting too low or too high about this, just really, again, it's because you've been willfully ignorant. I mean, that's what it comes down to at this point. If you don't understand what's happening, I guess that's where I'm at. I just can't imagine that this is going to cause any much more of an uproar. Like I said, it's potentially part of the reason why they might have canceled the FanFest last night is just because, like Fuzzy was talking about, the reaction potentially, and the questions potentially. But I just don't see it anymore, Mav. I think everybody does know at this point. Everybody does.
Yeah, it's like there's this weird like level of like acceptance though, where like I think the big showcase has always been like a thing, right? For a lot of people.
Correct.
And it's like, this is our time to celebrate Xbox. Why are you doing this to us? This is our big Xbox celebration, And I have a feeling that there will be those out there that might still freak out. I don't know.
I mean, I think it's.
Go ahead. Sorry.
The same people that kind of I think started some of these like more like uproars about in the community about this, like I feel like they're gonna say something again at the showcase. They're gonna go on Twitter the same day and be like, "See, I told you, fucking Xbox is putting everything multiplayer.
Well,
They're fucking
engagement.
dead or whatever." And then you're gonna get the casuals again riled up, and you're gonna have that negative energy out there again. That probably that day or the day after to carry on for a little bit. And then I just don't think Xbox wants to deal with that at the event, just because they're gonna get questioned, and there's just gonna be people fucking being annoying about it all the time. So
Yeah, but do we see
it's
this
just like,
as like a praise moment from big games media? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
no,
or
they're
do they
immediately
just
gonna be
ignore it?
like, they're just gonna be like, they're gonna ignore it and be like, "See, Xbox has no first party games. Buy a PlayStation."
Or, but like, okay, so there was like on Kind of Funny, like I think it was Tim Geddes who was like ranting or about Hades 2 being a timed exclusive for like Nintendo,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Yeah. So
Who watches that show anymore? Or the channel? I don't. Again, if you're still watching that show, you're willfully ignorant as well. Anyways, continue. Sorry.
So yeah, I saw clips of people talking about
Yeah.
this and posting on Twitter, and so you have like this games media and like these people that are covering talking games.
Was
all of
there a
sudden-
rant about Death Stranding 2, Mav? I just got to ask.
No,
was
no.
there a rant? Oh,
No.
is Death Stranding everywhere now? Is Death Stranding everywhere?
No, I remember there was back in the day when Tomb Raider was for Xbox.
Right, but I'm saying Death Stranding is now everywhere, so why shouldn't everywhere get Death Stranding 2 now, right?
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
Anyway,
That's
sorry.
a perfect example, though, right? With Death Stranding. But yeah, it's like they pick and choose which games to be upset over exclusivity about, but I'm wondering if the tides are shifting to where like that's especially with third parties, you know. It's like, why do exclusivity for third parties with some of these? But you're right. Like they would complain about Hades too because it ended up going everywhere eventually. Why not do? But nobody also another one that was an example was Octopath Traveler, right? Octopath Traveler had ended up going to Xbox and Game Pass, and ended up Octopath Traveler 2 didn't until later, you know. So there's been numerous times and examples of this happening where nobody gave a shit until it's the one game that they were looking forward to play on their PlayStation.
Yeah. And let's be straight up too. On top of it, they didn't announce it as a Switch 2 full exclusive. It's a timed exclusive. So
Right.
again, everybody knows this is eventually coming as well, right? So it's not even like a situation where like we don't know for sure how long Death Stranding 2. We assume it's going to be the same type of deal, but there's no guarantee either because again, Sony is helping Kojima with Death Stranding 2, right? So it's just strange that this was the one that they chose. Like,
And also, PlayStation was the one that pushing the timed exclusives further and further out anyway, like 2-year
Right.
timed exclusives instead
Or
of like
more.
6 months or whatever. Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
I'd just like to see that same energy. You know what I mean?
Of course.
If they are like going to complain about them or whatever, then you know when PlayStation has a state of play and announces some like a Stellar Blade that they ended up going and acquiring the publishing rights to, and then retroactively making it exclusive, like keep the same energy that you did for Starfield. When you were upset because originally there heard plans that they were originally going to release it for PlayStation, and remember how much of a conversation that was for like a year and a half or at least about how pissed off people were that Xbox bought ZeniMax Bethesda because there was a potential PlayStation one early in development or something.
well,
For
PlayStation was going
Starfield.
to try to get an exclusive.
Right, and then nobody acknowledged that. You know what I
Right.
mean? But then now Hades 2 is like we're pissed off that that's exclusive, and then but we're not pissed off about Stellar Blade, Death Stranding, or any of these other games that were originally potentially going to go other places. It's like if you're going to be pissed
Black
off
Myth
about it,
Wukong.
Black Myth Wukong, right? Like if you're going to be pissed off about it, at least be even with it, or you can just start to say, hey, we're going to say we hate exclusivity, period. And if they do that, that's probably the best thing for gamers and you know what I mean? But who knows? Well, it's going to be interesting to see because I think we're going to get those logos. I don't know which games, not all of them, right? But, Fuzzy, I think we're probably going to see Fable again.
Yeah.
Right. Probably going to see Perfect Dark again. We're probably going to see Gears E-Day. Maybe even this Gears collection. Right. We'll probably see a Halo game. Or maybe, I also want to say probably on that one. I'll give a 50-50 chance we might see a Halo game. We're probably going to see State of Decay 3 again. right? We can go down a list of like, I mean, Blade is a possibility to be shown here. There's just a shit ton. This could be the most epic Xbox showcase of all time, even beating last year's. And at the end of them, I'll see the different logos. You know what I mean? Will that like? For me, it won't matter.
As long as there's a Game Pass logo, I'm good.
Exactly, bro. Keep that Game Pass logo there. But yeah, do you think we see? Do you think it's time that we see the reveal of a new Halo game?
It'd be nice because we already heard that they're moving on to Unreal 5. So to give us kind of an inkling. Now, I know they showed us some of the test stuff that they were doing before as far as like the scenery and whatnot that they set up. But show something that's more of like a vertical slice kind of deal of what might be a plot for the next one kind of thing. That would be cool. But more so than Halo, I'm kind of torn if we see Forza Horizon 6. Like that's probably the big one for me that I'm debating on if we see it, because Fable's not coming out this year. We know it's 2026. So does that mean that maybe that Forza Horizon 6 being 2026 gets moved to 2025 because it's ready to go? Then that would be weird for them releasing, Forza Horizon 5 on PlayStation 5.
It'd even be weird for a reveal. Yeah, for me, like, because literally, with a little less than a month after you you release Forza Horizon on PlayStation, it's like, here's a new Forza Horizon. You know what I mean? And it would be like, oh, we just got this one because we've been waiting years, and it's like, here's a new one coming next year or whatever. So it'd be interesting with Forza. I mean,
unless unless they say right off the rip, all right, instead of 4 years, it's 3 years before it comes to PS5, which that would, hey, do you want to wait 3 years, or do you want to pick up a Series S or X or something like that, or play it on your PC?
So that's the other question about Forza, because a lot of people speculated, hey, make people fans of it and then make them, then sell, next gen Xbox, or the new one comes out, make them have to go get the Xbox or play on the Xbox ecosystem to play the new one. Do you think that'll be the case, or do you think the Forza Horizon 6 will be day and date across everything?
Oof. Dang. I don't think that one's quite ready. Well, if they show it this year for release later this year, I don't think it's quite ready. Because then you've only given that new fan base 5 or 6 months to enjoy 5, and considering how long a Forza Horizon game can last, you doing a day and date, you might be disappointed with the numbers for those guys, because they'll just be getting deeper into Forza Horizon 5 at that point. Are they going to hop right away to 6? Because there's even like 2 years in, there were still a lot of people that were playing Forza Horizon 4 just because they like the seasons better, or they like the UK scenery better and stuff like that. But yeah, that would be a tough one. Like I think a better day and date might be Blade, just because of Marvel contract, whatever kind of thing. Maybe they do the same thing that they did with Indiana Jones. Who knows? But I could see that being a day and date. But everything else, I don't know. I don't know if something like a Fable winds up being a day and date, or a Contraband, or a what's the other one? Joanna Dark. What is that?
Dark.
The Perfect Dark. Yeah, so I don't know if any of those wind up being a day and date. I mean, it would be interesting because considering it's co-op and mainly co-op. If a State of Decay 3 was day and date,
State
I
of
wouldn't
Decay
be
3,
mad at it.
like, I think like makes a lot of sense because like you do have that multiplayer element, so
Yeah, that one I wouldn't be upset on, but that I could see being a day and date. But everything else, I don't know. But Xbox is moving in a direction where they just want their games everywhere. Play it on your device. They'll put the game in front of you wherever you might be. They'll have their own handheld, hopefully out shortly after, or maybe we get to see the handheld at this showcase. But yeah, I don't know if Halo is ready to show, and if it is ready to show, I don't think that one goes day and date. I think that's still the one that's like the longest holdout.
Yeah.
When they get Halo, they'll get Master Chief Collection or something like that before or at least I think that would be the one that they would introduce to that platform if it ever goes.
Yeah. The interesting thing about Halo, why I was asking that specifically, is because I'll go to Jasper on this. Like in the past, they've marketed Halo games for multiple years before actual anything in depth shown but we'll maybe get the title and a little like teaser, to get like people hyped and excited, and then they reveal stuff over like the next show, then the next show, and then maybe next gen launch or a year after or whatever, you finally get that Halo game. So do you think that we could potentially see Halo show up again?
I kind of almost expect Halo to be here just because next year is the 20th anniversary or whatever, or the 25th anniversary for that or whatever. And I think they want to get the title. They want to get the Halo title out and show people. Also, it's going to be a different kind of Halo experience just because it is kind of that reboot or reimagine, or however they're going to twist it, of Halo itself. So, and with them switching to UE5, like I think they're really trying to hit that 25th anniversary mark for Halo for next year. So I think it's probably going to be maybe a smaller, more focused Halo experience. So I think they really want to get that out for next year. And I think a lot of the Gears rumors were like kind of misguided. I've always kind of doubted those. Like everyone's saying E-Day is coming out this year. I think it's much farther along, like probably a 27 game or 26.
Yeah, I'm more on board with that.
Just I don't know. So I don't think we get Gears. Like I don't think they're going to show Halo in Gears here. I think this year's the Halo year for their big kind of game, because we saw Gears last year, so they'll give them another year to show update on Gears maybe. I don't know. Kind of just where I'm at.
Interesting. What about you, Pong? Is this the return of Halo at the show? It's been several years. I mean, even Halo Infinite hasn't been at the showcase.
Oh. Yeah, I've said it all along. It wouldn't shock me, because I think 2026 is Halo, Gears, and Forza. I think it's lining up, and I think all three have a better than 75% chance of being day one on PlayStation as well. I think that decision was made early enough that all those games any of the games now going forward are being worked on to go multi-plat right away. Now, Switch 2 might take a little bit longer, obviously. Just because of it. But yeah, it would not shock me to get a tease of the new Halo here. Why not? Listen, we've gone through this with Halo so much, right? The Master Chief Collection is going to come to PlayStation, right? I believe that's a part of the Gears collection. I think I wouldn't doubt if both of them get announced roughly close to each other. We could have Gears this year as the collection announced. And then we could have Halo announced next year to go to PlayStation as well. Halo's got a clean slate now. They got a clean break. It's done. Whatever mystique, it's still there because it's still Halo, right? But whatever mystique there was, because now Xbox is putting things everywhere as a third party, right? And because of what happened with Halo Infinite, it's done. It is now up to them to take Halo in brand new directions, which I've said all along I believe they're going to do. So why not tease it here? You're gonna get a huge response with the return of Halo, especially if you tease it as a true teaser, maybe just a glimpse of something, because again, we know how this community works. A glimpse of something, and whatever just the outline of the title. Don't even give us the full title, just the outline of the title, but everybody's gonna know. But if you do that, the speculation around Halo will still be massive, because the fan base will always come back for Halo. Like, yes, you've disappointed many, and many have gone their separate ways, but it's a lot like what we see with Battlefield. Now Zappel is handling it. You give everybody a tease, and all of a sudden everybody's like, holy shit, here we go. We're back, boys. We're back. Like, Halo's the same and always will be it, because of its place in history for so many freaking people. So yes, you're gonna bring it back. You know, you're working on stuff. You could have multiple projects. We know they've been potentially working even with third parties on this stuff. Do it. Tease something this year for Halo. Get the hype excited, because I do think 2026 is the return, and I think 2026 is lining up, because I don't think you're going to get. I don't think it has to be a full blown experience anymore like we used to get with Halo. If you do one of the smaller projects, or if you've had somebody working on one of the smaller side projects again for Halo, Halo Gears and Forza in 2026 sounds good to me. So let's go.
Especially
roll it
with
up.
Halo being like kind of reimagined or however they're doing
Right.
it. Like you
Right.
have a fresh slate to start with. You
That's
don't
what I'm
have
saying.
those expectations you
There's
have to
no
meet anymore.
rules. Right. There's no rules. There's no shackles anymore. It doesn't matter. I think it's the perfect time to do it. So let's go. Yeah.
Yeah, right on, man.
I love
I think it could, but not only could it, I think this should be the year they reveal the next Halo title. I think just like, Halo Infinite's been going for a while. It's been, it came out in 2021, so it's been 4 years almost. And like that game had a huge swell at the beginning. It kind of died off. It had some waves. It's still a fun game, great game to play, and there's lots of excitement still around the community. But overall, we have seen the glimpse now of that whole UE5 thing, right? They did that last year. They showed us, hey, we are no longer 343. We're Halo Studios, right? We have moved to the Unreal Engine. We've done this big project to learn how to build a Halo universe in Unreal. They said they have multiple Halo projects going on, right? I think it's time to reveal one of them and just kind of get that excitement for something new again from the Halo community. It can do a lot, and I think even something like that can actually do a lot for Infinite, like player base, just like bring some excitement to that fan base, and I watch it develop over a couple of years until it finally comes out, or maybe it is ready in 2026. Maybe we get some kind of Halo release, like even if it's a smaller experience, like Jasper says, maybe we get like Halo remake, for like, or whatever, as like a test project that they'd made within UB5 or something, like something that comes out next year to kind of say this is the new Halo now, and it'd be cool, man. I mean, my hopes and dreams are Halo Wars 3.
So then I would even be out of my chair if we're getting Halo.
If it's
Halo
like a
1,
different
let's
kind of
go.
experience, Halo Wars 3. Hey, let's go. I'm all on board with that. But yeah, I think it's time to. It's been too absent since Halo Infinite came out. I don't think Halo's been at an Xbox showcase.
Nope.
So
Maybe like a DLC, like an update announcement or something. But
I don't even think they've had that at the actual showcase. I think 2022.
They had all those chats or whatever, right? With 343 that would
Yeah.
announce it, right? They would do like kind of like
Yeah,
the
that's right.
Diablo Fireside Blizzard chats that they would do. They would kind of announce it that way on the couches and show it off.
Yeah,
Like, I don't think we had one.
It's just weird seeing like 3 years in a row at the big summer showcase without something Halo, at an Xbox event. We've seen Fable, we've seen Gears, we've seen Forza, multiple Forzas. You have some of the classic franchises that we knew were coming back. We saw Perfect Dark last year. I mean, it's just been like a little too absent for me for how much how big it is for Xbox and for the fan base of Xbox to not have some kind of presence at the show for multiple years. So I think it needs to be there this year. But I got another question. Now, Todd Howard, he's cooking. He's always cooking something. We've had a lot of speculation on this in the past, right? About the timetable for releases and all these kind of things for their projects. Originally in the leaks that was set for timetable and order of events, you'd have Starfield Expansion 1, Expansion 2, and then the following year would be Elder Scrolls 6 as far as release cadence. And somewhere in there also the ZeniMax Online game that we haven't seen yet. We just saw Elder Scrolls Online had a big event talking about bringing players back and all these other kind of things, right? Some big updates come to that, but we haven't seen the new thing ZeniMax Online as well. But going back to Todd Howard, we know that he doesn't like to show games until they're closer to release. He said that numerous times. However, not everything's always up to him. And we could have... Do we think there's a situation... I think Starfield expansion may be shown at this the expansion 2. But could they lead that Starfield expansion 2 reveal into possibly Todd's moment to give us the title in a little tiny tease of Elder Scrolls 6? This would be potentially years. It'd be like, if it's launching in 2027, it's a possibility, not saying it is. If it were to launch 2027 according to that original cadence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, the original cadence would be 2026. But I'll give them 2027. If it is 2027, this year's showcase, you get a reveal, you get a little bit bigger showing next year, and then 2027 would be the release. Or 2026 could even be a release. Fuck, 2026 could be the greatest gaming year in Xbox history by far.
Could be.
What are the odds we see Elder Scrolls 6 show up at this showcase? Jasper, I'll start with you because you look the most skeptical right now.
Yeah, I've been kind of running through it in my head. Like, yeah, we have Oblivion possibly coming out this year. Like, maybe this is the year they're trying to really hype up the Elder Scrolls franchise, and then they're going to come out with a bang and be like, and here's a little teaser trailer for Elder Scrolls 6 finally, instead of just the title screen for it or whatever. But at the same time, I'm like, I just feel like that game is still a ways out, that maybe they just announced the other unknown Bethesda game and just give you a tease of that, just the title screen for that instead.
You think we're getting one of the two? Either the ZeniMax
Yeah, I don't
Online
think you
or
get both.
Right.
So that's where I'm kind of like jumping back and forth in my head. I'm like, I don't like, they're doing a lot of Elder Scrolls stuff this year, so like maybe they really show it off. I just can't lock it down in my head which one it is.
Yeah, I'm trying to like. There's one thing that's tricky about Xbox is like they don't ever. It's like we try and find a rhyme or reason or pattern of, but then they just 1 year they randomly change everything. You know what I mean? With how they do things, like they did with that 12-month showcase. Then like last year they'll have different games coming later or coming next year, coming that year. You know, and that's kind of what I think is most typical. So I think they can reveal things that are further out. But it picky and choosy on what they do that with. Like, when was the first time we saw Doom: The Dark Ages? Was it last year? Or was it the year before? Can't remember. Do you remember, Fuzz?
I think it was last year.
Last year?
Because before we all just assumed it was year zero. Like,
yeah, it was last
actually
year.
saw it last year.
And then last year was Gears E-Day.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was 2 massive game reveals last year. Fucking Gears E-Day and Doom: The Dark Ages. Then we also saw more Fable. We saw more Perfect Dark.
Outer Worlds 2.
Outer Worlds 2 was shown again. But that was revealed back in what, 2021?
Wow, the fake, the fake
trailer.
We don't even know what this game is yet. Trailer.
Yeah, that's
right.
And then all of a sudden it's ready. Okay.
Yeah, they knew what the game. They were a little further along. They alluded to in that original trailer. So they've done a mix where revealing games further away, like Blade. They announced at the Keighley show. Not the year before last, right? So, and we still don't have any clue when that's coming out. Contraband was fucking revealed like 2021, I think.
Yeah.
Still, I don't know.
Well, I mean, we finally got
that.
a Perfect Dark trailer, or whatever, or like update, and that was what, like 5 years before after they announced it. So
yeah, Perfect Dark. I'm intrigued to think about if we're going to see that, because one of the rumors that was going around was that they had potentially pushed Perfect Dark from 2025 to 2026. But I don't know if that was reality or not, because based on what the trailer that we got, it seemed like, even though it was gameplay, it just seemed like a wishful thinking gameplay trailer in a lot of ways. Like, this is what we're aiming for type trailer, and not necessarily like unless hey, like, that's what it looked like. It was, I mean, the animations and shit like that they had with Joanna doing those fucking takedowns and stuff. Like, it was so fluid.
But that's the Tomb Raider team. So yeah, I mean, The new Tomb Raider.
It just looked like so. It
It
just looked like so fucking fluid and good, man. It's like
yeah. That's why initiative was
guess
created.
I guess that's what they're talking about with that body cam type thing, about the
I
kind
mean,
of like
look at
feeling.
we've gotten these. Yeah, I mean, we've gotten this stuff. I understand what you're saying. It was really clean. I think they took like a really great slice of gameplay from the actual game.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
they
if that's
really had
actually
it
what we
clean.
get, that
Yeah.
game elevates like me to like another fucking.
Oh
level
yeah,
for perfect.
I think that's what we're getting. Bro. I do. I think that's what we're getting.
Yeah, it's like when people a lot of people thought the first Fable stuff we saw was like too good to
Correct.
be true. Like, but 3-bit was telling us no, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, that's what it
fuck.
is. That's what
I just like I need I needed 3-bit in my other ear to be like, yeah, that's what Perfect Dark is like. But yeah, it just seemed like that one because we'd heard so little about it, except for the one showing last year that to have. Well, this one was slated for 2025, but they moved to 2026. So like, I'm wondering if that'll be something we see this year or next year, because if it
next year's spring direct obviously would be a good spot. It could also be, depending on what else is next year. Perfect Dark could be the direct after the showcase next year. Deep dive if it is the end of the year, but it probably will be Fable. Obviously, again, next year.
Or it could be the new Call of Duty next year.
They might have to do multiple directs, like with full blow. And I mean, how do you not showcase Perfect Dark? Obviously, you're going to showcase Fable. Like, how do you not do a deep dive? How do you not give Perfect Dark that light?
Wasn't it direct last year? Wasn't it like split between two games?
No, because Call of Duty, it was Call of Duty, right?
Yeah, it was Call of Duty Black Ops 6.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was Call of Duty. So I mean, and you're gonna have a full-fledged Call of Duty next year as well. New one, right? Not one of the in-betweens. It's gonna be the big one. You if you have E-Day, how are you not giving E-Day a full deep dive? Like, we could see like,
but you could say that about every one of these fucking games like coming up for like 2026. Like
that's what I'm talking about. 2026, we could have like so many directs. Like, they're going to have to do directs where they deep dive these games. All these games warrant that deep dive. Look at Outer Worlds 2 is getting a deep dive this year. All the games next year are Outer Worlds 2 or better. I mean, in terms of just what we're looking at as far as big IP go, like next year is going to be nuts for Xbox if it all lines up.
Yeah, I mean, this year's crazy for the amount of releases and good quality games. But like, I think next year's the year of the heavy hitter IPs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Doom is this year, and Ninja Gaiden is like I say that, but like we talk about the ones that have been hyped for years and years and years. It seems like those are the ones that are all potentially hitting in 2026.
Yeah. I think I go back to your Elder Scrolls question real quick, man.
Yeah.
I think Game Awards for Elder Scrolls 6.
That's a good point.
I think you save it for Game Award. That's a game. It's going everywhere. Like, there's no question. Like, it's going everywhere. That's a
really big announcement, and you probably want as many eyes on that as possible. Yeah,
as much as people hate that comment, that's what you do for Elder Scrolls. That's where your teas come. I could see it being this year, like a first glimpse at it. For sure, I could see it. Could I see them holding it until next year's Game Awards too, as well, if it's a 2027, 2028 release? Of course, absolutely. But I think we could get a Todd showing at the Game Awards this year for Elder Scrolls. I think that's where you do it. I don't think it's at this year's showcase for Xbox. I think this year's Bethesda stuff is the ZeniMax Online game finally. And I think it is the Starfield DLC and the announcement that Starfield's coming to PS5, and all that kind of stuff. I think that's where the focus is going to be this year, is the Starfield. And then it's time. ZeniMax Online's got to be here this year. Like, I'm going to be like going, they canceled the game or they shut it down if it's not showing up this year. ZeniMax Online's game's got to be at the show.
Yeah, we've been predicting that for years. Like, it's got to be finally.
It's been in production for 6-7 years. It's got to be ready, man. It's got to be. Whatever it is.
Can't wait to find out what it is.
I know, man.
If it was
everything they've learned from ESO with updated graphic, like what they could do with anything, whether it's Starfield or it's a licensed IP, Star Wars, Marvel, whatever, what that team has learned from ESO over a decade, it could be a great freaking MMO launch, man. It really could.
I'm still guessing that it's. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, Chris Jones, the unit. Hey, welcome to the Speculators again, bro. Appreciate you as always.
The unit.
What were you saying, Fuzzy?
I'm thinking the ZeniMax Online team is going to be making a like a cyberpunk-esque or like a somewhere in that vein because
they own Shadowrun IP.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
I would be through.
Could you imagine if they did a Shadowrun fucking cyberpunk like MMO?
No, I would. They would be the first MMO that I would say straight up day one. I'm locked in. You can guarantee that I will be talking about Shadowrun for the foreseeable future. That's it. Like I guaranteed. Like if they were doing a Shadowrun MMO, like
that'd be such a good fit too. For, like,
it would.
everything.
It would be perfect. Oh god.
Because they've already done like the post-apocalyptical. You've done the fantasy stuff. You're probably going to eventually do the space one as far as like the MMO version of Starfield. But from what I'm hearing, it's not Starfield, and who knows if it's a space IP. So that would be a perfect fit. That's like the genre they haven't touched yet, like Blade Runner-esque kind of stuff.
And that's kind of been the trend for games the past couple of years anyway. Like we have Mind's Eye coming out this year. It's kind of cyberpunky. So it would make sense if they're trying to chase that trend a little bit. The cyberpunk feel,
or Star Wars. If it's Star Wars, I'm in day one too. So whatever.
Even the Outer Worlds 2 gameplay that we just saw, the 11-minute first look, I was saying that kind of has like a cyberpunkish look and feel to it, also in some ways, right? It's interesting, man. You just fucking. I wasn't even thinking about that possibility, Fuzzy, and about the cyberpunk aspect to it. And Pong, you mentioned Shadowrun. And you immediately say that, and I think of like, okay, you know what MMOs have, especially these kinds, maybe Elder Scrolls teams and stuff like that, is PvP.
Yeah.
So then I start to thinking about like, could they implement kind of the way they did the Shadowrun like first person shooter elements into a Shadowrun MMO in some kind of way, first or third person, like as well, like.
Yeah, and you could have hacking, counter hacking. You could have a lot of shit.
So it'd be the best, like, of both worlds for gamers that love that franchise. You have the people that fell in love with that.
You imagine hacking runs where you got to protect one person to hack, and then somebody else is counter hacking at the same time, trying to delay you guys while their team's trying to influence. Like it'd be nuts. Like there's a lot of ways you could go with that if they pulled it. Again, we're shooting for the beyond the moon here. We're shooting for the outer rim here, but it is potential. Again, they own that IP, and I've been calling for years to reuse it.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. Yeah, it kind of makes sense because like there's like different races or whatever, and like
that's
so many like different like
magic.
There's like
magic mixed with cyberpunk. How cool shit
like
is
kind
that?
of augments and stuff you can do to your body and that. So it's like, it makes sense. Like you could have a wide variety of like abilities and like powers and stuff.
Classes. Oh yeah, you could have a ton of shit.
Is there a comparable MMO out there that would be kind of like, I can't really think of one off the top of my head.
Straight up like cyberpunk MMO? Not that I could think of either.
I can't. I don't. I
no.
Yeah, man. It's just you might have just fucking like
hit on it.
So much
$1 billion idea.
Dude.
Here we go.
Oh my god. Yes. Wow. Yeah, it has a lot of potential, man. Let's go make a game, guys. Let's start a fun speculation technologies.
Hey, Star Citizen is approaching $1 billion. Why not?
Yeah, that'd be crazy, bro. I think a game that's a safe bet to see this year with a good like gameplay reveal and trailer is Clockwork Revolution.
Yeah, that's gotta be shown.
That's got to be in the bag, right? Like
next year. Yeah, next year it's got to be. It's got to be early next year. It's got to be spring. I bet you it's at the direct or it's the deep dive at the direct out the gate next year. It could be, but again, they have so many games next year. It's hard to say that as well. But they've got to promote the hell out of that. Like In Exile has been such a freaking. Like, they haven't put out a game since they've been purchased, but they are like the biggest fucking cheerleaders over on that side. Like, they should run. They should be like, Tina Amini should just help, like, go to them for some ideas too. She's been great, but go to them for some ideas too, because they have been marketing the hell out of everybody else. I want to see In Exile's run, because I do believe we're going to get Clockwork Revolution, obviously, but I think In Exile's probably working on something else at this point too. So I can't wait to see their run because they're ready. Again, I've been touting NXL forever. I got to see Clockwork Revolution. I have to.
I mean, we're bound to get a Double Fine announcement of some kind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Of course.
I mean, it's time for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Everwild.
Everwild. It's got to show up at some point. I mean, it's a joke. It's a joke, right? But like at the same time, like it's got to be there. Like,
or we could just not. We could make something else from Rare.
Well, it would be crazy if we get another new Rare game reveal before we see Everwild again.
Hopefully.
I want to see Everwild, man. The one time we actually got like the potential of what that game looked like, it was fucking gorgeous.
Cool.
You know.
Yeah.
But don't know what it is, and you know it's been.
They got solar panels.
Yeah, making it in their greenhouse.
And like they show them chilling out, relaxing, and throwing parties all the time too. It's such a weird deal.
Yeah, we made another 100 million from Sea of Thieves.
It's just such a weird vibe. Anyways,
so
didn't Contraband wake up recently too?
Yeah.
They posted another listing for looking for some kind of was a creative director. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, it sounds like that's still active. That's got to be shown. I mean, again, we got that teaser 4 years ago now. Jesus,
he's 3, yeah.
I like that was just like a concept. Pitch
well, yeah, it was just a total tease, right? With Steely Dan playing in the background, and that's when we heard it was going to be car-based type action more so, but there is supposedly going to be not in car also shooting. So I can't wait to see what they've done, right? Who knows? Maybe it was an extraction shooter and they rebooted it again. And that's what's taking so long. But
yeah, I feel like that game, they had an idea for it and then it just didn't work. So they're like, we have to go back to the drawing board or something.
Still be made. So I mean, IO Interactive. Do we still get Project Dragon? Is that still a thing?
Because it was as of the FTC leaks, right?
Right. So where's Bond on this stage? Because we know Bond's close because they mentioned it. Yeah, go ahead.
That's why I was going to say I don't think we get Project Dragon just because they showed off Bond, and I think they're closer with Nintendo on Bond just because. So I think, I don't know, just because they revealed it there, and it's just like GoldenEye was kind of a big thing back in the day on the 64. So.
Kinda, it was a big thing.
Yeah.
That's before Jasper's time.
I know.
I played it.
How old were you? 4?
I mean, would it come out in 97?
Yeah, I think so.
No.
Oh,
was it 97?
It was around that time.
Yeah, maybe it's 98. I don't know. I was born in 96.
Yes. What? I want the controller, Dad.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing games since I was born. I played fucking GTA 3 when I was like 3 years old. I don't know. Whenever it came out.
Right on, man.
It was 97.
97.
August.
Yeah, that game will be everywhere for sure. But yeah, I could see that being like, marketing.
That's the big thing this year, I think.
I mean, who knows when we're going to see that? I mean, there's also a certain Affinity had some stuff that they were supposedly doing. People Can Fly has some stuff that they're supposedly doing. We got the survival game reveal that they're making their own in-house project, but that I don't think is going to do necessarily what they want. We'll see. But yeah, also Everwild, I think it's time, man. I mean, it's been time for the last fucking 4 years at least, so why not this year? Maybe it's a surprise 2026 game. Supposedly there's more that we haven't heard about. Remember earlier this year they were like, and we definitely have more that y'all don't know about, right? Mm-hmm. Multiple things. And I mean, we got Ninja Gaiden. We got it had been announced at the Direct. We have Outer Worlds 2 coming. We got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 coming now as well. So this year's already full of releases, but they have some stuff still for 2026. So what is the 2026 mystery? What is still potentially up their sleeve that we could potentially have for later this year? Or 2025, sorry, not 2026. If there is one more game, what would it be? Something unannounced? like Double Fine thing, something like that, or something bigger. You know,
I mean,
Zenimax Online.
the Infinity Ward like MMO like sci-fi game that they were making potentially. I mean, we really haven't seen too much from ABK since they've been acquired. So at least on the main Xbox stage, I mean, we saw some stuff at BlizzCon, but
Hexen reveal or something. Like I don't know. Fuck you. He keeps wearing damn Hexen shirts all the time.
StarCraft.
well, I don't think we get StarCraft just because they tried licensing that out this year to the South Korean devs. So I don't know if they have anything officially.
But they can still have an
Ready.
RTS moving and shaking in house. They could be looking for doing something else in the StarCraft universe with somebody else, but they could have an RTS technically started in house, right? So there is a lot of RTS talent within Xbox now. So it's possible, Jasper. I know what you're saying, but it's possible. Possible. I want to believe, Jasper. I want to believe.
I wonder if Elsewhere makes its debut showing. Is that supposedly they were incubated for a couple of years prior to the announcement?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So maybe we get to see a tease of what they're working on.
Toys for Bob has a game.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's,
Splinter Cell's got a show this year, right?
Fuck, dude. But would that be more likely to show at like a show like this or like a Keeley show?
Bro, at this point, I don't know. We've just wanted it to show up at the showcase every year since we started podcasting. So why not? Just why not? It's the perfect last game. It is the perfect last game. I don't care if it's multiplayer. I don't care if it's everywhere. It's perfectly set up to be on the Xbox stage. It's the last game that they show off. We've had it all planned out. Lights go down. You just hear the goggles turn on. That's all we need. And everybody goes freaking nuts. So I just want it to happen. So I just keep throwing it out there. Whatever.
I mean, for the big third party thing, I could see Battlefield being here.
That's a good call.
Really? Call of Duty?
Yeah,
really?
No, Battlefield.
EA.
No, I know, but I said with Call of Duty now in house.
They've been big partners with EA for a long time.
I would have doubt that Sony's about to throw some big money at Battlefield to try to get some partnership. That's what I'm thinking, but we'll see.
Did they show?
I don't know. Just EA doesn't really have shows anymore, so.
No, they don't. They partner with everybody else to.
Yeah, the
bring
problem
that
is
game
Sony
here.
doesn't really have shows anymore either. So it's like if you do
That's
partner with
true.
Sony, it's like where the fuck are you gonna? Well,
Well, I mean,
we're
they do
gonna
have
market it with our
third-party
Sony shows, and they fucking show
Well,
like, hey,
they have
we
their
got
third-party shows.
baby
Yeah.
steps and fucking
Right.
dog shit, and then here we go. Our Battlefield surprise everybody. It's like, hey, why did we choose to be in this show?
True.
I don't know,
But I can see the money.
yeah, I can see the money too from PlayStation. Sure.
Oh yeah, the Last of Us complete edition.
Oh yeah.
So I guess if it's a complete edition, does that guarantee that there's no Last of Us 3?
No,
I think they said they're working on it, didn't they?
no, they did not. Drunkman said that they're not, and not to expect it, and it might be the end of. That might be the last time we ever see The Last of Us is Last of Us 2. That was the quotes that got everybody fired up. Just last month I think it was March.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's still going to happen. Druckmann's he's a narcissist and he's a big time ego, and he knows he wants to go back to that world because he loves that world and what he's done to it. So yeah, he'll go back to it eventually. So he will.
Wait, was the Dr. Uckman cards in Last of Us, or was that in Uncharted?
Is that Uncharted?
I
I don't know.
It was like you could find like these collectibles, and there was a Dr. Uckman card.
Oh God!
It was basically Druckmann. But
I played
God,
the shit out of Uncharted, but I don't remember that. Like Uncharted's my.
That must have been Last of Us or something. Because
It was
I think it's
Last of
one
Us.
of those.
It was Last of Us because it was part of the collectibles in the world. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was Last of Us. It was the newer games because it wasn't Uncharted. It was after Uncharted. It has to be Last of Us. It has to be.
Okay. Yeah.
It has to be. No, it wasn't last. Oh, shit. Yeah, it has to be Last of Us. It has to be.
I'm trying to think.
I don't even know what
I
he's
can't
talking
believe they
about.
actually
So.
did that complete edition.
collectible
That
within
just
the
boggles
world
my
of
mind.
cards
It's like the
and
fourth
yeah.
remaster of the first game and like the second or third remaster of the second game. So it's like
And anybody in the chat gonna buy The Last of Us Uber complete edition with signatures and art?
Well, no, I
I'll
mean,
wait
I
for the-
heard.
I'll-
Personal letter, a thank you letter from Druckmann himself.
I'm gonna wait for
I-
the next edition.
I heard it was.
For
I
the
heard it.
PS6, the remaster complete edition remade.
I saw a clip and heard that it was for the people who are watching the show that didn't even know a game existed, and they're just gonna go get a PS5 and buy The Last of Us Complete Edition because they just love the show so much. That's what I heard.
Is that what they
They
said?
should change Ellie to make
legit,
it match
I legit
the
heard it. I'm not
actors.
making that one up. That's what I legit heard. That's who it's made for.
Oh,
So I guess we can, when Fallout Season 2 comes out, we can anticipate
No,
the Fallout
Different.
Complete Edition.
totally different, bro. Totally different. Fallout doesn't have the same kind of magnetism that The Last of Us does. Of course, nobody's gonna go buy an Xbox.
Do we see something
Oh.
from Fallout? This
Or-
show?
No.
we saw some of the stuff in '76 from the show.
Obsidian shocks
Okay.
the world and reveals
Fallout-
Fallout new whatever.
A Fallout tease on Obsidian's game this year at the Game Awards, and then Elder Scrolls 6 next year at the Game Awards.
Mm.
They've got to get a tease out. They've got to capitalize on the hype around Fallout. I don't care if it's early. Obsidian's going to be all hands on deck after they get done with Outer Worlds 2. So it's going to be all hands on deck. With whatever they've got working already, it's going to be, and we know how fast they work. They're very good at what they do. They've got to show, I think personally, well, again, it's just us. And like you said, Matt, common sense doesn't make any sense. And what we think happens doesn't happen. And then something else does. But I think you have to, with the show's popularity and everybody anticipating the next season, you got to tease that the game's coming from Obsidian. That the in-between, that people aren't going to have to wait. I don't care if it's early. They got to do it. They got to keep that in people's heads. I would do it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, even if they tease it, it's just going to be so far out that.
I don't know, Jasp.
I guess with
Outer Worlds 2 got
Obsidian, you can
finished
just
real
fucking.
soon. Outer Worlds
Yeah.
2 got some finished real quick, sir. And it's not going to be, it'll probably be in line with their types of games, right? It's not going to be the Bethesda full-blown mainline Fallout, right? So, yeah, Obsidian with all hands on deck, they could pump that sucker out. I'm not going to doubt Obsidian the way they do shit. So, I think they could get it done faster, Jasper. I think it could be there.
Good.
Be fun.
I'm
If you
just
just
trying
say
to think of
Fallout
everything.
new something, like, people
Right.
are going to fucking go crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Fallout New Chicago, Fallout New whatever. Yeah,
Fallout
it's
new
over.
shit.
Yeah. Fallout New.
Fallout
And
new
just
game.
leave it blank. Just do Fallout
Yeah.
New and then just leave it blank and let everybody start guessing. That's all you
Oh
got.
yeah, just
Yeah.
have question marks after it.
Yeah.
And like have like
Yeah.
yeah. That's a good way. That's a good marketing idea.
Everybody be hoping it's their city. Oh my god, it'd be
Yeah.
crazy.
When the Game Informer relaunches their first magazine, have like a puzzle to solve to figure out the question marks. You know, they did that with fucking Skyrim, man. I remember getting that magazine, and you had to like figure out the code to what did the symbols say, and it said Dragonborn, right?
Dragonborn.
And I was like, wow, it's so fucking cool. I was like, I gotta be the first one to solve this, you know. Yeah, stuff like that's fun. I'm trying to think like who else. Okay, so we got from the Zenimax Bethesda side, like Arcane. We already know they're working on Blade, right? We know that Machine Games just launched Indiana Jones. You know, too early for an announcement for another game, or did they have maybe two teams going?
I mean, they could tease like a Wolfenstein title or something, but
Quake.
yeah.
It's got Doom: The Dark Ages this year, right? So we know that. Who am I missing from Bethesda? We got ZeniMax Online. We got, you know, obviously Bethesda game studios are going to get the Starfield expansion 2 probably, or at least for sure. I don't think Alpha Dog and Roundhouse are really things to think about anymore. I don't remember. I remember there was like transition with those studios underneath other studios and stuff like that. Who am I missing?
Probably helping out with Blade or something at this point if they're still around.
Yeah. I missing anybody from ZeniMax Bethesda side?
Oh, we could get an Indiana Jones.
Oh,
Update on
there's
the
supposed to
DLC
be
coming.
the
The
DLC for
DLC.
that.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
DLC. Yeah, we could get that as well. Yep.
And then from the ABK side, StarCraft. We just heard about partnerships with StarCraft and Korean devs. Possibilities there. Don't know if that'd be too early to announce anything with that stuff. Probably.
Yeah,
Wait.
But something StarCraft could be there. Blizzard side, do we see? More Diablo content wouldn't surprise me.
Part of their whole massive rerun of Diablo.
They just started they just put out a roadmap or something. They're going to start doing like licensed IP deals with people for, I guess, probably skins and stuff. So
yeah, the
maybe
new
we see,
DLC
like,
is next year. They did say it's coming next year, right? And they're going to be a new class as well. So we could potentially start get the tease on that. And obviously, World of Warcraft, potentially, but I don't know. Did we hear that BlizzCon is back this year or no?
I can't remember. I know we heard something about it.
I thought there was.
They did say something about it.
I don't think. I think it was no.
Okay, or was it no in person BlizzCon this year? I can't. Oh no, BlizzCon 2025 is not happening. So if
World of
that's
Warcraft major expansion,
that could be here as part of the showcase as well. For
it
sure.
says
Yep.
promise. They promise a meaningful celebration in 2026 for Blizzard.
Love that fuzz. That's coming with the next gen though, because it won't matter.
2026 will be back.
Okay, so this year there's no BlizzCon. So anything update wise, they could still do it at one of the other shows throughout the rest of the year. But if there's something big, I could see it here at the showcase.
Yeah, I'm fully expecting the WoW expansion here now.
Yeah.
Call of Duty reveal for the new Call of Duty game.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
For this year. Last year it was at the direct, after, but I think this year they just reveal it during the show. Whatever the plans are. And supposedly there's been a huge resurgence of Call of Duty players with the Verdansk map for Warzone.
Yeah.
So there's some excitement around the Call of Duty community right now. So maybe Call of Duty has a little bit of a presence there from their side. It would be cool to see an Infinity Ward have that other game reveal. From their other team, the stuff that they've been working on. That because that was rumored before, before the acquisition or anything was even rumored or
and Infinity Ward and that kind of side of development, they keep expanding. They opened a studio in Poland and one in Canada shortly after they were acquired. So
well, I think there was news about something at one of these studios, like some layoffs at one of them or closures or something like that at one of theirs. I can't remember, or maybe that was. Can't remember which one. It was like a small report that came out not too long ago. I think it was
one of the Blizzard teams or something, wasn't it? Or was it Activision?
I thought it was something to do with Infinity Ward. Let me.
Yeah, Poison. There's rumors. This goes way, way, way back, but there was rumors that they are doing some type of sci-fi game with former BioWare devs from the Mass Effect team, the original Mass Effect team, and that they were making some kind of first-person sci-fi RPG. So we shall see. We shall see if that ever comes to fruition. That was real early back in the day. So, and that was from a guy who was known and unknown, but known if you followed his feed and found his feed to know people within ABK and did have great Call of Duty intel. And he actually wound up going silent for a while and then deleting that tweet referencing it. It's somewhere in our DMs. I took a screenshot of it. So it's somewhere in our DMs from years ago. So we'll see if it ever comes about. It would be great if it is. Oh, it'd be fantastic. That sounds so cool.
Yeah. I can't remember what I heard. It was, I'm talking out my ass. It was some studio, and I was like, "Oh, really?" Because I remember being kind of surprised by it, but I can't remember what it was.
It was Sledgehammer. They shut down the offices or whatever, right after Call of Duty launch, wasn't it?
Maybe.
Really?
Yeah, they sent everyone to work from home or whatever. They
Yeah, don't fucking remember. Sorry, I'm not trying to put out
Maybe
misinformation. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
fucking remember what I had seen, and I can't remember if it was Infinity Ward, or maybe it was Respawn, one of the Respawn offshoots. Because I always get, in my head, like, because of Vincent Pella and stuff, like I get them kind of mixed up sometimes. But anyway, yeah, like they've had that. Was it supposed to be a sci-fi game or something, Pong?
Yeah, it was a sci-fi first-person RPG with former BioWare devs from the Mass Effect team, the original Mass Effect team, and others working with Infinity Ward on that game. Yeah.
Right. Okay, I remember the report was whatever studio it was a game that was canceled.
Okay.
There was a cancellation of another multiplayer game.
Oh, okay. So not the survival game. You're not thinking about
but
that.
I don't remember if it was Infinity Wards or whatever.
Got it.
I'm trying to find the news, but yeah, there was supposed to be like another multiplayer game made by one of these devs that was canceled, and it could have been Respawn, could have been Infinity Ward. I can't fucking remember. Anyway, besides that, yeah, it would be cool to see that. Trying to think other ABK side.
Tony Hawk, I assume, is going to be here because it comes out the next month after the showcase.
Yeah, see a little trailer for it.
Yeah.
ABK at Back and Pat news. That maybe that Call of
Would be
Duty
nice.
rumors of those games that are just showed up for Game
Maybe.
Pass. Like,
I think that comes with the Game Pass increase, so I don't know if that happens here at the show or not. But that'd be a weird. That'd be a weird. Again, that's just
Don't put
my
that out
theory.
there.
That's just my theory that they're going to show up with that prior to the showcase because they seem recently to like to get some bad news out of the way prior to showcase. So I think maybe it could line up where they do the Game Pass Ultimate subscription increase and then show up at the showcase with the back compat stuff from ABK and go, yeah, we're throwing all this in there now, and we did all this extra work on it, so enjoy. Again, I still do believe in my heart of hearts, however they pull it off, that they're holding that back as a hey, we're adding value, a lot of value too, while we just increased Game Pass. So
right.
We'll see.
Well, the point cost for Game Pass Ultimate went up from 12,000 points to 17,000. So it lines up kind of. I don't know if that's a full $5 difference or not, but
and PlayStation start to make the rounds and increasing their PlayStation subscription too in certain areas of the world. So I imagine it's eventually going to come here as well. So yeah, I think they're going to.
Third party wise,
hopefully they don't split it.
Yeah. Third party
Split
wise, I think we have more Japanese stuff.
I think last year though, Matt, like, well, what did we get last year? Like, I don't remember because we didn't get the whole Japanese section. I think they might be done with that because of just how much they have first party wise. I think it's going to be limited to what we get. Now, if Atlas wants to, announce something here, then yeah, I think something like that, Persona 6 shows up like that. That's a reality, right? That's something that we know is in the works. And they've done a lot of deals with Xbox. So if that was something, yeah, I think something big like that could slip in, but I just don't think we have those big sections anymore.
Was it Where Winds Meet? Is that what it was called? The one that was at the showcase a few years ago?
Where Winds Meet is PlayStation 5 and PS. Is it PC only now?
There was one.
Yeah.
It was.
There's Wu Chang Ball and Feathers. That's gonna
Wu
be
Chang
Game Pass.
Ball and Feathers.
Yeah.
I'm thinking there's gonna be a big Square Enix announcement at the Xbox showcase this year.
We could finally get, now that they've announced Final Fantasy Rebirth for Switch 2, it's time to show up at Xbox. So this could be the spot. You're right. That would be a big one too. They'd let Square in on this for sure. Good call.
Yeah, Square. I think it's time, like with their new kind of way they're doing things. Instead of doing it at a Direct or the Tokyo Game Show, I think big stage time. Show up with something big, some kind of new game announcement from Square.
I was saying, I was thinking of Wu Chang, but that's supposed to be this year, and is that Game Pass though?
Yeah, that's a Game Pass day and date game.
Yeah, so we would probably see that.
Yeah, we'll probably see another trailer for it. I think that's launching in August, if I'm not mistaken. I already got a release date, I believe, or a release month, so it's very possible. Anything else from ABK side? I guess like the devs, it's like they're Call of Duty, Diablo, and fucking like Warcraft. You know what I mean? And also possibly StarCraft, hopefully. But there's not like shit ton of IPs. We get Tony Hawk and stuff like that. But there's a lot of possibilities for old things to come back. So keep our eyes on that.
I mean, this year I think could be a big year for Call of Duty if it's the rumors are true, where it's like a kind of a mini Black Ops 2 remake kind of situation. Like 'cause Black Ops 2 was one of the, like, if not the most popular Call of Duty there was.
Yeah. It was like Black Ops 4, the multiplayer was pretty much remake of the old Black Ops.
Yeah. No.
So it's like as multiplayer wise, it's like will that if they just like have the classic maps remade again, you know what I mean? I don't know how that would go over. I mean maybe the Call of Duty community would be excited for it, but Black Ops 4 was kind of like, hey, we don't even have a campaign. Let's just a bunch of classic maps from Black Ops and some new ones, So I don't know. We'll see. It was fun though.
But yeah, but Black Ops 4 also sucked ass, but
Yeah. Besides that, so then we got Xbox Game Studios. We talked about Double Fine. We talked about Rare. We talked about Halo Studios. We talked about Coalition. Gears Collection could show up. We'll see.
Mojang?
Minecraft's another Minecraft thing.
Yeah, I mean Minecraft is big right now. You got
Yeah,
you got the
trying to do the
McDonald's
visual
meals in the
update or
movie.
something.
They're
Yeah.
gonna make Chicken
Well,
Jockey
they have
the
some, like-
game.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's a big thing right now.
We'll see. I realize they've gotten rid of the whole what was that, the 4K version that they were trying to do years ago for the Xbox One X, but there's some
Uh-oh.
sort of ray tracing stuff that they're bringing back, or some sort of visual upgrades that they're bringing forward. So they'll probably do that, plus character announcements if they haven't already done characters from the movie in the game. I think they have.
Yeah,
but-
if you I was gonna say, I don't know about that, but if you get the McDonald's adult toys, whatever, you can get like McDonald's characters in the game.
Yeah, yeah, they're sold out everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. You can get like the Hamburglar as like a Minecraft
Yeah.
Hamburglar, right? You got like a little
Or
grimace,
Grimace or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Minecraft is huge, but we've gotten like, they had the Telltale style like Minecraft stuff,
Yeah.
we had Minecraft Dungeons, we've had Minecraft Legends, maybe it's time for another Minecraft spin-off of some sort to be announced. That IP is massive,
Minecraft Cart.
Minecraft Cart. Minecart. Let's go. I'm sure so we got Mojang, you got let's see. We talked about the initiative with Perfect Dark. Talked about In Exile, Clockwork Revolution. We talked about Obsidian.
Mhm.
Trying to think who am I missing?
World's Edge.
Yeah,
But I mean, I think there's still DLC for Age and stuff.
they're cooking on all that though, Jasper. I mean, they got so much.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I
They're
just want them
supporting
to
all-
like also focus on another big game too.
Yeah. Well, maybe they are. I mean, there was rumors that they had signed with another, or not a rumor, but it was news that they had signed with another third-party company to produce a new game. So I don't know if this was before Age of Mythology was announced. So I don't know if that was Age of Mythology retold, or if it's like a new one, something else, and that's what I'm hoping for. Who am I missing from first party on Xbox's side besides those studios? We got trying to think off the top of my head.
I'm blanking on the name, but the Hellblade studio.
Ninja Theory. Oh, Project Mara.
Yeah.
It'd be the
Yeah.
first time we see that again for the first time. They released. I mean, Hellblade 2 came out last year, right? So it could be time to, hey, this is promoting the next project, which I think would be
Project,
further
yeah.
along. I mean, I think they were also working on something, with this too. So, yeah, man. Numerous things could happen at this showcase. leading into 2026, which I think will be the year of the big IPs, like we were talking about, like Gears, Forza, Halo, Perfect Dark, State of Decay 3. I think will show up again at this showcase, to where we actually see more gameplay, but probably be a 2026 release.
Well, I think
right?
it would be the first time we see gameplay, wouldn't it?
We saw the gameplay in the trailer, kind of. They showed snippets of it, but not like an extended kind of thing, So yeah, I'm looking forward to this show, man. I think it's early on. Anything can happen between now and June 8th, but this is going to be a show that shapes, I think, what we have to look forward to for the second half of this year and 2026 for sure.
Also, we haven't seen any like Killer Instinct stuff, and they kind of talked about that a few times in the past year or so. So maybe they actually show Killer Instinct again.
Well, they haven't officially revealed that they're making a new Killer Instinct yet. So
yeah, I mean they talked about the update and stuff, but have we even got that?
Yeah, the update came out. It was like it was a quick turnaround on that. And then they've continued to support it after they've had little other kind of balancing things that they've done and all this stuff. But so they're still there. You know what I mean? Like, do you still have them there just to support this old game? For what purpose? Like, I've been thinking that they are probably working on a new one, but I think Iron Galaxy recently also had layoffs and stuff. So I don't know. If you're ramping up for development of Killer Instinct 2, I wouldn't necessarily think that would be the case. So that kind of threw me off on that one. So maybe maybe they just saw it to get them out. They could be supporting another studio that's making it as well.
Well, I think with the layoffs, they had it where it was worded, whatever project that they were working on themselves or something, kind of like some other studios have run into the same brick wall where they wanted to release their own game. They were doing it under their own publishing or whatever, and they have to kind of squash that and just stick to
the partnership deals that they have. Yeah, I think
so
people
that's
Can
what
Fly
happened with
was
them.
in that same boat.
Yeah. So we'll see. I honestly think, hopefully Iron Galaxy will be able to make an announcement or something like that for a Killer Instinct, or a new one, or some sort of like collaboration kind of deal. Which I'm still looking for the collaboration with like Mortal Kombat or something kind of deal like that. But definitely, we got to see something from Double Fine at this point. I don't know if it's going to be enough time for Brutal Legend, because I know they kept Jack Black for something after Psychonauts 2, but it's only been 3 or 4 years, so I don't know if that's a quick enough turnaround for like a Brutal Legends, from the ground up kind of deal. But
yeah, well,
it's going to be interesting. I think we're going to see nearly, well, I'm going to say 2 hours between both the main showcase and what do you call them, and Outer Worlds 2 breakdown type of thing. So we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, so overall, a lot of possibilities and a lot of excitement to be had over the couple coming months. I can't wait till there's actually rumors starting to spread and all these kind of things, more so leading up to like possibilities for other kinds of games coming out for the second half, or all this other kind of stuff as well. And the thing is, always remember about the Xbox showcases, as big and crazy as they are, they still have surprises at Gamescom, or at maybe even have something at the Keighley show. Then they'll have something at the actual the Game Awards at that Keighley show. Then they may have something at Tokyo Game Show, and then they will have their direct the next year. And so there's multiple opportunities for them to reveal and go over these games going into next year. So it's hard to speculate anymore. It's not like they just have the one big thing, because like if it's not there, it's okay, because you're going to see it at one of these other events as well. And they can also just say, hey, this is just a special individual direct we're dropping randomly on a Wednesday to highlight this game. They've done that before plenty of times. Like they did that with Hellblade 2. They did that with South of Midnight. They did that at South of Midnight earlier this year, I think it was. We had this big, the documentary kind of thing that they had released, right? The one those I got to give props to another company here who is celebrating their release on Xbox in the right way with Hoyoverse doing Zenless Zone Zero. Because they've been hyping it as far as like, hey, we're on Xbox. They're doing special. They did like a special show today. They're talking about all the cool stuff. Sometimes like when a game comes later to Xbox or comes later to a platform, it's just like, hey, we're here. Here it is. You know what I mean? But I got to give props to them to like celebrate being on Xbox finally. Like, because they've been doing a lot of stuff. Xbox has been behind it too. But yeah, they had like a special presentation and stuff. They have I think it was somebody had broke down a lot of the it's like 4K, you get like special things in the game, all these other kind of cool stuff. So they're really definitely celebrating being on Xbox, which is cool to see, because Hoyo had skipped it originally with Genshin Impact. They had come out, and now we're getting this one. So it seems like they're at least happy to be on the Xbox platform, and at least it seems that way, right? With how much they're celebrating it. So I just thought that was cool to see, because you don't see that a lot sometimes with these third-party companies that are delayed being released on a platform.
Another third party, while you were talking, that I kind of thought of that's pretty close to Xbox is a Sobo, and we haven't really seen, like, they kind of teased a Plague Tale 3, whatever that's going to be, at the end if you played Plague Tale, and it's been a few years since the last one came out, so maybe we get the teaser for the next Plague Tale game in that series.
Well, Plague Tale Requiem came out in 2023, I think. Or
2,
was it
I think.
2020?
Like that.
I think it's 3.
2 or 3.
Was it 2? Well, yeah, maybe it was 2.
So.
Was that one of the, because that was like one of the games that we got that year where there wasn't a lot of was it that much time gone by since Plague Tale Requiem came out? Fuck me, man.
Yep, 2022.
Jeez.
Hmm?
Why if you were to ask me if it was last year, I'd be like, it could have been last year.
That's why these years have been running together. That's for sure. Especially with how many games we've been getting.
Is it
It's
just because we're
crazy.
getting old and the years are
Yeah.
seeming like this?
Part of it.
Time
but
flies
the
when you get
amount,
old.
but the amount of games too has been over the top, right? So it is hard to keep track of after a point. It's like, how long has that been? What?
Right, the cadence is definitely
Right.
increased for sure. Like this, South of Midnight just dropped next month. Now we have, or later this month now we have Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Then we have Doom: The Dark Ages, and then we have the showcase. You don't know what's going to be there. Supposedly,
Towerborn is squeezed in the middle of that.
Towerborn squeezed in the middle, and supposedly at some point there's going to be Oblivion remake. Supposedly, we'll see. I don't know. There's several people that say this is happening. Several people thought it was going to be at the Elder Scrolls event that wasn't there. But I don't know, man. Like maybe there is a little shadow drop or something later this month for that as well, which would just be insane on top of everything else we're getting. But
Could you imagine 2 shadow drops this month, Marathon and Oblivion? That would be wild.
yeah. So you saying shadow drop for Marathon? Did they say when it's coming out? Because
No, but people were just
some people have already preloaded the something or other, although it's a
Oh.
placeholder. But
maybe like an early access or a beta or something.
people were kind of maybe they were doing the Apex thing where they're going to like show it off and then like immediately like the next day or whatever it's playable.
Be the way to do it on a game like that. Probably,
Definitely sounds like there's
is
an
it free to
alpha.
play though? It's free to play, right? Or no? Have they announced?
we don't
Did
know.
they
I don't know.
say- I don't know if they said.
I don't know.
If it
Yeah,
doesn't
I
have a
don't-
campaign, be free to play. If it has a campaign, I'm
Well, it's an extraction shooter. I think that's going to be its whole main purpose. It's not like a single player thing.
yeah, but like Bungie games, like Destiny also has like a campaign, but it's also like a multiplayer thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but this is an extraction shooter, so I think that's this kind of
Just
whole thing.
just
So,
only multiplayer. Like
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
It makes me a little less excited for a Bungie game in a way. Like, but it is what it is. It could be really cool, man. I'm looking forward to giving it a go. Marathon could be really fun. Are y'all hyped for it? No.
No,
I know Steel's
I
been
want to see
posting
what
a
it
lot.
is. Oh, Steel's starting to come around. I think I'm going to talk to him tomorrow morning, but I think he's starting to come around. He's starting to get that hype. Again, the dude loves what Bungie does with PvP. He was just upset that they abandoned Destiny 2's PvP.
Yeah.
So but he loves their PvP. He was
Fuck,
hardcore.
I loved their PvP with
in
Halo.
Destiny 2. Right. Obviously, that's what I'm saying. But and he's more current with the Destiny
Yeah.
2, and I know you didn't quite get into it the way that
I
that he
tried
did.
Destiny multiplayer several times. I just never felt that like level of competition
Mhm.
and like, you know what I mean, like competitiveness with it.
So you didn't play Trials.
Probably yeah.
I
Oh,
just
you
love
can
the
play with wrong
aesthetic,
guy.
so I want to see it. And Steel and I are gonna probably co-stream it tomorrow. I just want to see the game play and see what it looks like, because I love the aesthetic. I love what they're going for. I love the character design. So hopefully that carries over into the game itself. And if it does, it's free to play. Yeah, I might try it. I said that about Marvel Rivals too, and I still have it. I downloaded it, but I've never played it yet.
New
And I
season
totally
just
said I was
dropped
going
the
to.
other day.
Yeah, I'm waiting for if they drop Jean Grey in and there's I'll probably play it then. But there's been so many games, but I do want to see what Bungie's going to do, and Bungie always still even right now has a chance because again people do still carry a lot of or that name still carries a lot of weight with a lot of people. It's still a lot of fans. Obviously Destiny 2 is still fresh. It's still there. There's still a huge fan base. So I think if they can do this right, there's always a chance that Bungie pulls one out, right? Always. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm curious. They're doing it right now. Their hype train, what their marketing is on point. They've already got people really interested and excited. So
Yeah.
that's always a good thing.
Yeah, it's that reveals tomorrow, so we'll know the answers. Tomorrow will be big for that community. I mean, anytime you have a Bungie reveal of something, it's a big deal. So looking forward to seeing what more about it. And you will be able to play that on Xbox, everybody, as well.
Mhm.
So, all right, this was a fun show, guys. We hit the
And
2
no
hour mark.
PlayStation Network login required too. They've already confirmed.
Oh, cool. So we can just
Yep. They said there's not going to be one required for PC, Xbox, anywhere. So you're good.
Wild how they do that with their big games.
Yeah. But thanks everybody for watching the show tonight. Hope you enjoyed this early speculation for the summer showcase and some other stuff we talked about. But hey, Fuzzy Belvedere, thanks for being here as always, bro. Where can people find you, sir?
As always awesome being on here with you guys, talking about games, the industry, and everything. Basically, the hobby we love doing this. Thanks to everybody in the chat for showing up. Greatly appreciate you guys joining us tonight. Don't forget, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. We greatly appreciate it. And for those that want to hear my rambles and rants on anything gaming related, just do a search for Fuzzy Belvedere on social media, pretty much Twitter and Blue Sky, and you'll be able to find me. And EXE tomorrow, or not tomorrow, Sunday at 8 o'clock Eastern time, or 8 p.m. Eastern. Not sure if we're doing Shop Podcast. Still take a bit of a break for a bit, but we'll let you guys know when we redo that. But Monday, Xbox lunch break special, 12 noon, Double Barrel Gaming. Hope to be talking about some upcoming news for Xbox and some stuff that was talked about towards the tail end of this week. Some stuff we're getting in June along with the showcase. And then FSP later that night for the games of the week. Hope to see you guys there, 9 p.m. Eastern time.
Good on, bro. Appreciate you. And just a note, everybody, as well. I found the news that I was talking about earlier that I couldn't remember. It was Respawn, not Infinity Ward. About the big game being canceled or something. Then it was Respawn had a secret FPS game that was canceled before it was announced.
That's because they're making Titanfall 3. They had to cancel it.
yeah. So that's what it was. Hey, Jasper, thanks for being here. Where can
Yeah,
we find you?
yo, check it out. Lord Jasper Twitter, all that fun stuff. Be jumping back on the rocket ship, going into space again tonight. You know, that's how it
Nice.
is. And I came down just to do the show, so that's where I'm at. That's what I do.
Always just living in space, bro. It's awesome. Mile high. And the one and only Pong Soul. Thanks for being here as well, bro. Where people can find you, sir.
Yes, sir. Great to be back on a Friday night again with everybody. Jasper, great to hear you again, brother. Thanks for being here. Always love getting the show in with you and Fuzzy. Again, miss you, brother. Not doing the shop, so love being here with you. And of course, getting a double dose of the Mav during the week. Pause, but love being here. So thank you all. Chat, you guys were definitely engaged, especially the speculation talk. That's what we like to do around here. And there will be more of that as we come into, obviously, showcase season. We start getting some more juicy tidbits here and there, leaks here and there, because, you know, we're not going to shy away from those. We will eat those up. So get ready for that. But thanks all for being here. Obviously, whether you gave us just 5 minutes or whether you were here the entire time, nothing but love and respect for all the support you give this show and all of the other ones out there. So have a great rest of your weekend. But you guys know how to find me, Pong Soul, everywhere. Follow me. I'll follow you back tomorrow morning. We get your morning started. Take you from your morning to your afternoon to your evening, depending on where you are in the world, on Living Split Screen. Split Screen is all one word. That's the show that myself and my brother from another steel Rain do. So join us there. We'd love to see you. The chat gets heavily involved on most of our shows on Saturday. A lot of times dictating even topics, because people, we've got a mix in our chat. We got a good mix. We don't have trolls. They stop by every once in a great while. We just have a good mix of people that really start things cooking early in the Saturday morning. So join us for Living Split Screen, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time, 3+ hours. Buckle up and get ready for that one tomorrow. Again, the shop podcast is on hiatus for the time being, but please keep your eyes and ears open. At some point, I hope that we're going to come back. Shout out to PTK and my brother right here, Fuzzy, and we can get that rolling again. But for right now, it is on hiatus. So next week, you got to start all over again. Tuesdays, Double Barrel Game is the channel. Boomstick's the man 5 days a week, but all good things green on Tuesdays for the Xbox Factor podcast. Join him and that crew there, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Central Time. And then my podcasting week starts right back here again with this dude right here on PM in the PM. Pong and Mav in the PM every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Central Time. If you didn't catch last night's show, go check it out. We were actually on time last night for once, both of us, so it was awesome. Hey, y'all, it's the golden age of gaming. Get out there, please. Play what you love what you play, and I will talk to you all real soon. Mav, get us out of here.
Yes. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Hope you all have a good one. Back on FSP Monday, Thursday, like Pong said, PM in the PM, and then Friday night, Xbox Ultimate. Take it easy. Bye.